So this morning I've been thinking about UI a lot, and I think that I actually have some ideas on what I want to do. So currently I am just building the app right now, and I was thinking this morning that the buttons on it make it look a bit amateurish. It doesn't really look professional. There are some parts of the app that I really like, and some parts that I thought looked a little bit. I don't want to say cheap, but just a little bit not polished enough. And so I have some ideas. I think that I'm going to actually bring in some icons. And oh, this is interesting. What has happened here? Why has this happened? This is unexpected. I'm not sure why it's doing this. Undefined symbol. I haven't done anything since last night. What's happened here? That is a bit strange that that's happened. Oh, okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my repo. Git reset. Reset it. Why? What's happened there? I literally haven't changed a thing since my live stream yesterday. This is funny. Why would it do that? Maybe I might have hit something by accident while I was messing around. I think maybe I might have hit a key or something while I was searching through the code just now. I hope, or else this first hour of the live stream might actually be me just figuring out what the heck is going on. Strange. Why would it do that? Anyways, here we are, Sunday morning. I'm excited to try out some of these ideas. The ideas are really just about, oh, cool. I just hit a button by accident. So the ideas that I have this morning are mainly around just improving the UI a little bit. As I was saying, I think there are some parts about it that I really do like, and then other parts that I'm not such a big fan of. Interesting. So that. Oh, I hope that I actually saved my changes in my in my GitHub. I think I might have forgot to make a commit yesterday, which means that basically, if that's the case, then all of my work from my live stream yesterday actually hasn't been saved, which would be a shame. But I actually have some better ideas now. So let's connect this mixer here, and here we are. And yeah, it appears. Oh no, I've made a big mistake, which is that I actually erased all the work that I did yesterday. Ooh, that hurts. But it's okay though. I actually have some better ideas on what I want to do now. So yeah, so what I'm going to do this morning is I have these three buttons: set up, loop game, and mute. And one thing that I thought was that this looks kind of a little bit just simple. I don't know. Doesn't really look like a custom piece of software, really. And I wanted to change this around. So I think that some icons are actually going to clean this up and make this look a little bit more polished. Also, this press spacebar to start in this square box looks a bit eh. And the way that I have this this box as well is a little bit. There's not really anything here that lets you know exactly what the job of this is. So I'm going to actually work on some of these things. So first thing I'm going to do is I have a setup. I'm going to change the setup button, which actually brings me back around to my settings screen. And I'm actually going to replace this with the sprocket. So like a settings sprocket, which we have a image of, and we're going to actually set that up right now. So let's go ahead and do that, and we're going to actually replace that setup button with the sprocket. So currently my sprocket is in my resources, so I have this folder called resources, and then in here I have a whole bunch of assets. So where's my settings? So here it is, settings icon there, and I also have a speaker one. Yeah, let's start with the settings one. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this in as a button that you're going to be able to press, and then that will take us back to our settings screen. So I'm debating where to actually have this. I think that eventually I'm going to move all of these over to their own class. Maybe there'll just be a class of buttons. I'm debating what to do, where I'm actually going to place it at the moment, or should it actually go with the settings UI? I don't think so. So maybe it's just a button that it doesn't know what its state is, and that is defined in my main component. So I don't know. We'll worry about that in just a moment. So first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to put this just in the main component class for now, just so I can actually get it in here and get it working. So this will be class settings button. And let's take a look at the API to actually define how we're going to bring this in. I always forget how to actually do this. So we're going to go on a little bit of a journey together. And there's a class called image button, which is really awesome. And let's see here. So this looks pretty straightforward, actually. So yeah, so this looks pretty simple to implement. Every time I say that, it never works out to plan, but let's have a look. So we've got this method called set images. I'm just debating whether to so set images would be happening in the constructor. This is a component, so yeah, this seems pretty easy to use. So here we go. So settings button is going to inherit from use image button. Like I said, I'll move this later. And let's see, so we will do settings button, and this will be a constructor, and the constructor needs to take a name. Oh, actually, I'm just going to leave it blank. So I'm just going to leave it like this. And then first thing that we need to do is we actually need to bring the image in. So in here, I'm actually going to go over to my setup screen, to my DJ setup display, where I have these other images that I've created, and because I always forget how to do this. And so I need to set up an image, and then I need to just bring it in. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to paste this code here, and then I'm going to change it. So this will be, I'm going to create a juice image. I want to make sure that I'm keeping in line with how the class actually works. So yeah, because we eventually need to take a image object. So here we go. So I'm going to do juice image settings image. And does this image need to take any arguments? So let's go back to the API, to the image class. Where is it? Here we go. And this does not take and so we can just use the one that doesn't take any arguments. So now I just need to bring it in. So settings image equals all this business, and now we just need to get the image from our resources. So it would be resources. I think it's called settings. Yeah, there we go. Settings 2x PNG. And then we just need settings 2x PNG size. So there we go. Then we're going to put a J assert here just to make sure settings image is valid. Let's make sure it's actually a valid image. And then going back to our image button class, we can use this set images. So it sets up the images to draw in various states. So let's see. So set images. Then we have all of these arguments. So let's see, resize button now to fit this image. I think I want that to be true. Rescale images when button size changes. I think I want that to be true as well. Preserve image proportions. Seems like I'd want that to be true. Now we got the normal image. And this will be settings image. Oh, I got a comment. So Monte Morris, hey, what's up, Monte? How's it going? I've tagged these videos under science and technology as well as C++, so more people can find it, not just people from your YouTube coming in. Oh, that's great. I'm actually streaming from multiple platforms. Let me see if I can actually do that very quickly. let's have a look here. I will go to YouTube Studio. Content, live. Can I do this? Details. I'll put this in live screencasts. I should probably create a. So let's see here. Oh, here we go. Science and technology. And can I add tags? So let's do this. C++, audio programming, audio programmer, ESP, digital signal processing. I think that's good for now. I'll go back. I'll come back later. But thank you very much, Monte, for that. And now back to the show. So image opacity when normal. So I think I want this to be 1.0. Overlay color when normal. So let's think about this. I think that I want this to be, so let's go over to our look and feel style sheet. I think I want this to be lightest tone color. So let's try that. So it would be scratch, camp, lightest tone color. Then we have oh, I didn't realize Monte just said he's making this comment on Twitch. Oh, I didn't realize. So let's go. Let me see here. So twitch.com. There we go. Log in. I actually never log in to my Twitch account. So let's see. So now I just need to put in this code 68339. Okay, so let's see. Where do I actually go to my video? Channel. Haha, this is hilarious. 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 Channel. This is hilarious. Channel. This is hilarious. That's funny. I don't know if you could hear that or not. That was pretty funny. Yeah, I'm sure I could do that better, but I'll maybe come back to that later. So, okay, so we got over image, which I just want to be the same image. Opacity when over, maybe I will make this 0.8, so you just hear, so it'll just go a little bit lighter when it's actually over. color overlay went over. I think I'm going to keep this the same for now. Maybe I'll come back to this later. And then down image. So down image will be the same, actually. Settings image. Opacity went down. Maybe 1, and color overlay went down. I will try champ light. Do I have a light tone color? Yeah, there we go. So we will try that. Okay, so that is that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a paint, avoid paint, because what I'm going to do is I want to draw a border. This is something that I do quite commonly. I actually draw a border around the outside of where the button is or where the component is, just so I can actually see, well, how big is the actual image, how big is the area where I'm actually trying to set this, and things like that. So I do this quite a lot. And this should be overriding, because I'm overriding a virtual method in component. And I will do, let's see, g.setColor. And I will do juice colors white. Draw rectangle, or is it draw rect? I always forget. So here we go. Draw rect. And this will be just get local bounds. Okay. So that should all go away now, hopefully. Okay, great. So now I have this settings button. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just comment out this setup button for a moment, because eventually I'm going to want to replace my setup button with this settings button. And actually, sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back. I'm going to leave everything there, but I'm going to go and I'm going to just add it. I'm going to get, let's see, I'm going to just replace it and resize. So I'll say settings button. Sorry about this. Add child components. Settings button. There we go. Just want to see what this actually looks like. Sorry, this needs to be a lowercase. And then I'm going to go to resized. To where setup button actually is. Just going to comment all that out. Say settings button. Set bounds relative. And let's put it in relatively the same place. 0.025. And this will hopefully be square. So we will make it 0.07. 0.07. And actually, I'm going to use my favorite new Use of undeclared identifier settings button. Oh, I guess it helps if I actually create the settings button. Settings button. There we go. And I'm going to use my favorite new toy juice live constant. So I'm going to do auto x equals juice live constant, and then I'll just set this to 0.14. I'm going to do this 4 times like this. So set bounds relative is a private member of juice component. Interesting. Okay. We'll come back to that very shortly. So I'm just going to replace this and this. I'm going to make this X. I'm going to cut this, make this Y, paste this here, and this will be 0.7. Oh, this will be Y. Okay. Set bounds relative is a private member of juice component. Interesting. Why is that happening? Is it because I haven't marked my... No, I marked all of that as... Is it because I'm not overriding resized? Nope. All right, let's do this. Oh, it's being marked override. Still getting that error. Set bounds relative is a private member. What have I done wrong here? Settings button is a juice image button. I've marked the constructor as public. Why? Why is it saying that? That makes no sense. Set bounds relative is a private member of juice component. Let's go to the component class. Let's actually go to the image button class. Image button. Let's see here. I'm going to go to the header file first. Image button is a type of button. Which is a type of component. Button inherits from component. So let's go to component here. Component class. Let's go to set bounds. So now I'm going to go to set bounds relative. Just want to make sure this is in public. It's in public. What the heck? That is strange. Let's go back to it. How strange. Set bounds relative is a public method in component. Image button inherits from component. Why am I getting this error? I do not understand that. Set bounds relative is a private member of juice component. I'm going to just try this really quick. Settings. Button. I'm just going to try something here. Set bounds. Interesting. What is this about? I think I know what it is. I'll go back to main component. I forgot to put public here. C++ for you. There you go. So I don't need to override this. Great. Okay, so now let's try this out. Oh, there you go. C++ for your Sunday morning. How about that? How's everybody doing? I really appreciate that spending time with me this morning. So at the moment, it appears that I'm making this visible. So because I'm not seeing anything. So that's a problem. So let's go back here. Add child component. I'm just going to do add and make visible for now. Rebuild this. Build succeeded. Okay. So we see something there. It's actually, there's actually nothing there, which is really odd, really bizarre. So okay, so now we're going to go back here. So set images. Do I have to do draw image? Or is it that my paint method is actually drawing over my image? Just going to I think it's that maybe my paint method was actually drawing over my image, possibly. So let's try that. Oh, I got this little nasty bug that happens every now and again that I need to figure out. I'll come back to that in a bit. There we go. So that's what it was. My paint method was actually drawing over the image. Cool. So that looks good. I'm just going to put these around and then maybe I'll come back and I will actually reset them. So I was also thinking that I wanted this very top level to be this dark color, because it looks a little bit, yeah. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that out. So let's get rid of loop game and mute, and let's try that out. So loop game. So where's that being made visible at? Loop. Where do I actually have that? Oh, that's in my play. That's in my play screen. So that's a bit confusing. I have my settings in one. I have 3 buttons, and 2 of them are residing in a different place than my settings button, which is a bit confusing. I think I'm going to make all 3 of them reside in the same place. So in my, let's see, play screen, where would that be? Oh, actually, it's up here. Play screen. We have loop and track mute. So now I just need to go. So let's go loop. I have all this business that's happening. I'm just going to just comment out these 2. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make that little panel that I was talking about. So we will do that very shortly here. Just thinking about how that's actually going to work. So basically, I want to have a panel that's this dark gray, and I just want to have it just sitting just above this hardware setup. I think it's going to make it look a little bit cleaner. Just having all of this and having no kind of sense of depth makes it look a little bit simple. So just thinking how I'm going to do that. Do I make just a component for that? Because I'm using set bounds relative to actually, I'm using set bounds relative to set all of my components. So if I have some of them set using set bounds and some of them using set bounds relative, it might be a little bit difficult to actually position it properly. So I'm going to go down to my background component. So I have this background component, which is the very back. Oh, cool. I have this images. Wonder if I'm trying to remember if I put all of my, if I wanted to put all of my images, if I intended on putting all my images in here. I think I did. It's okay. I'll come back to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a very simple class. We'll call it top panel. This will just inherit from juice component. I will do a void paint, use graphics, override. I will do g.fill all. And this will be, what color will this be? So let let me see here. So my play screen, actually, let me go to my setup screen. Setup, UI, got hardware set up. And what color am I drawing this? So dark tone color. And then in my setup screen, I will come back to that. So just keep that open in a separate tab. Where was I? So I was in background and in here. Then I need to create one of these. So panel, and add and make visible panel, and then now we will do pop panel set bounds relative. Now I just need to look at these dimensions because this is where the hardware setup display is, and I just need to subtract that from where my actual panel is. So you'll see what I mean here very shortly. I'm going to start at 0.0 and 0.0 because I want this to be at the top. And then let's see. So I want this to be, I want to start at 0.0 or 0.05. No, 0.0, I think. Yeah. We'll have a look. How wide do I want this to be? So I want this to be 1.0, and then let's see, it'll be, so the bottom panel is 0.88. I want there to maybe be a 0.2 gap. So I will make this 0.1. So there we go. I'm going to use this use live constant here so I can adjust this on the fly. I will also do this for the height. This might actually be fine, but I want this to be H. I want this to be X. Maybe I want this to be W. Auto W equals all of this again. And for now, we will have it set to 1.0. And then I will put that there. So this is just so we can adjust these things on the fly. Oh, what did I do? Just need this. Semicolon. Build semicolon. So all I'm doing there is just creating a very simple gray, dark gray top panel. Very curious to see what this is going to look like, but I think that it'll add a little bit of polish to the app. So we're gonna try this out. and see how it goes. So, how's everybody doing on their Sunday morning? I hope all of you are doing well. I'm here just having fun. I woke up this morning and I had these ideas, and I was really checking out other DJ software as well to try to get some inspiration. I think it's tough because there's this tough balance between keeping convention of where people expect things to be and also bringing a fresh new look as well. And so I've been trying to balance that out a little bit. So okay, so we see that we have this, and this actually looks fine. I'm gonna just try adjusting. So the Scratch Champion logo is a bit high. So let's look at our height. So maybe I want this to be 0.15. That, ooh, is it going right down to it? Yeah, it is. I'm also wondering if it should go all the way to the edge. I think that should go all the way to the edge. Starting to wonder if I want to have this border around hardware setup, or if that should be just be. So see, when I look at this screen, it looks a little bit weird having this go all the way from left to right, but all of this having a little bit of a border around it. So I'm going to change that now. So let's see. So let's make this 0.005. Which looks fine. And then let's see. So my width, I almost feel like the X should be a little bit, or the Y should be a little bit off. Of course, naturally, I didn't actually do Juice Live Constant for the Y. I did it for width and height. So feeling like I should bring the Scratch Champion logo up a bit. And then let's see. Should it have a white border at the bottom? I don't know. It's a tough one. But Scratch Champion logo should definitely go up a bit. Make it centered. So it just needs to go up half of what it is now. So let's make this change. Let's make this change now. So I'm going to try a couple things. So 0.005 is what we decided for the X. And then for the Y, oh, I do have Y. Let's see. Backgrounds. Well, that's, oh, sorry, this is not, this is a main component. I don't want to mess with that. So that's for that. I want to go here. Sorry. Where am I? Background. That's where I want to go. So this should be 0.005. I can actually take that, just put this here. And then what's the y going to be? Probably 0.005 as well, right? And then the width would be, so the height is fine. I just need to bring that logo up a bit. So the height is 0.1. And then the width would be, so it's 0.0. I can't believe I'm going to need to pull a calculator out for this. So if we have 1 minus 0.005, so that equals 0.995. So the width of this would need to be 0.99, 0.99. F and F, fine. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the Y to actually, just going to make one of these. Make this Y. So this is going to be Y. Interesting. So the Y is 0.0, but it is oh, it's because of the border around the logo itself. Okay, so maybe I'll just make the logo itself a bit smaller. So maybe if I make it 0.1. Actually, let me do this. Size. So I'll do size. Set as a default of 0.1. And then I'll just put this here. Actually, I'll do SX. And I'll make an SY. There we go. Just in case I need to adjust the width and the height. We will rebuild this again. See how that looks. But yeah, feels like it's feels like the right idea. Like the right idea is in there. So I just wanted to have a cleaner look, I think. And having these icons, having a little bit of depth to the UI feels like it will make it look a little bit better. Or I could just probably hire a UX UI person to actually come in and just tell us what to do. This is more fun, isn't it? Just to actually work through it. I actually enjoy really working through this. It's a lot of fun. So there's a question from Narcissus90. It says, looking good. Are you doing this UI stuff in Juice to scale it better for different window resolutions? Why not use Photoshop Illustrator, for example? So what I've done is I've used, so the way that I've done this Juice UI is I've actually used this set bounds relative. So no matter what screen resolution that you're on, that it always keeps the dimensions. So let's see. So if I do this, see how it always keeps It always keeps its size no matter how much I'm stretching it or condensing it. So that's why I'm doing it like that. Um, yeah. Yeah, I find that works really well. I mean, you have other options like Flexbox and Grid that are really cool, but um, Flexbox and Grid is a great one if you want to do more CSS style, not CSS style. What am I talking about? More web style type of replacing. So, for instance, I have all of these album covers like this, and then when I drag it, it actually dynamically works like the way that you would expect it if it were a web page, which is nice. So going back here, so this Scratch Champion, this is looking good. I've made it a little bit smaller, but now I just need to, as I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see on your screen, but it's a little bit too far up, so I'm just going to pull it down a little bit. So this SY is 0.1, so I'm going to try 0.105. Let's try 1.1. This almost makes me feel 0.11 works. This almost makes me feel like the top panel. Sorry, got a hair in my throat or something. This almost makes me feel like the top panel should actually own all of these buttons rather than having the main what's it called, main component own the buttons. Maybe I'll come back to that. So that's actually an interesting prospect, actually, that this should I'm just going to keep it as it is for now, just keep it simple, but yeah, but I'm feeling like that top panel that should contain all the buttons in itself, rather than just being a simple gray panel, but something I can come back to. So 0.11 is what I want for this Scratch Champ logo. And did I have anything else that I was looking at? So the size of it is fine. So we will just replace that. Oh, wait, 1 second. I've actually changed the size of it to 0.11 rather than changing the Y position. So that was a bit of a mistake, but it actually worked out quite well. 1.1 and 0.1. There we go. I will get rid of these. And so that works now. And now I'm going to go and I need to, yeah. I'm just stopping and thinking about my approach for the moment. If I should just go through the work of actually making all of these buttons owned by that top component, maybe that'll be like almost like a menu component in a way. I'm gonna have to change a bunch of logic around, but that feels like the right approach. So what that means is that Scratch Champ, my logo, would actually need to go in my top panel rather than going in my background that feels quite sensible, actually. That feels like the right approach. And it's going to take a little bit of work to actually do this, because I'm gonna actually need to probably reposition these. But I think in the end we will be better off. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take this out of here. I'm going to put this into our top panel. I will create a private area. And so now this class is going to start getting a little bit more complicated, because it's going to need a constructor like that. It's going to need a resized. And I'm going to need to actually bring this into, I'm going to actually need to bring this eventually into its own class. I mean, some people like to leave it hanging here like this. I prefer to have it all in a separate file. That's just how I like to roll. So now I'm going to put Scratch Camp logo there. And this is actually not too bad, right? So now I just need to bring this actually is going to clean up nicely, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this logo in here now, add it and make it visible. And I actually have all of my images, which is really convenient, actually. All of those are in a file that's here in background. So this actually cleans up quite nicely. So what I could do is I could actually take this settings button, and I'm actually going to just grab this, and I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to move it over to my images place here. So so I have a logo. I have this art image, which I forget. I don't think I actually need this anymore. But anyway, so this is a place where I'm actually just putting some simple image buttons and things like that. I'm actually going to try just getting rid of this art image, because I don't think I actually am using this anymore. So I'm going to try building this and seeing how this goes. And then what I'll do is I'll take all of my other settings and all of my other custom buttons, and I will put them in here. So lesson view. Oh, art image. Now I know what that is. That's actually my cover art. So I'll just make a comment here. So this is like album art, generic album art. I have this habit of capitalizing everything. Then we have settings button now in here. And now let's go ahead and start doing, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create my own class here for top panel. Is top panel the right name for this? I think it's a good name for it. Top panel, top menu. I'll just call it top panel. CP. And let's do this, and then this is top panel H. Now I have this class, and I'm just going to take this. I'm going to move this all over to its own class now. So I need to do this namespace scratch champ. And then I will put all this stuff inside of it. And so now I need to actually just take these, and I'm actually going to take the whole thing. So copy this, it'll be faster for me. Paste it here, and then I can just delete all of this stuff. Take all this, move it over here like this. And then this is top panel. That. So put my class names in here. So then I need to go back here. Oh, let's go back here for a second. Need to get rid of these overrides. Go back to the header file. And now these are just going to be the definitions here. If you're wondering why it's not coloring properly, it's actually an Xcode bug. I reload it from the producer, it should work fine. So I'm just gonna close it out like this, rebuild it to like this, and we should be okay. So we're gonna need to redo some positioning here once it actually comes up. So it's just loading everything. Sometimes I have to do it twice because I don't know, sometimes Xcode crashes on me. But hopefully not this time around. Just waiting for it to do its thing. Just waiting. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kill this, and then I'm going to try it again here. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. So see how the colors have come up now. It's nice and color coded. So we have top panel now. We have Scratch Champ logo. Now what we need to do is go back to our main component and grab our settings button. So we have this settings button that is now there. And I need to take this and need to bring this over to the top panel. So there we go. And then I also just need to grab all the code from there. So I'm going to grab all of this. And bring it in here. So we're going to need to actually reset all of this stuff eventually, but we will do that very shortly. So now we got settings button. So something that's gone massively wrong here. So let's see. I think it'll all correct once I actually try to build it. So let's try this. Build failed. Unknown name top panel. So this is, So I had this interesting question. I don't know if anybody would actually know this or not. Um, Top panel is something that I actually don't need to be accessed, or do I need it, to be accessed by? Because I'm eventually going to need to actually, yeah, disregard what I just said there. I've changed my mind. So the reason this isn't compiling is because I haven't put it in my module folder yet. So we need to make sure that it actually exists somewhere sensible. So let's see, scratch. So where's background? Background. Here we go. So we got hashtag include, and this will be background top panel. Need to do the same thing for the CPP. There we go. And now we should be good to go. So now we are going to try to build this again and see where we're at. There was some, so we got build failed again. Unknown name top panel, so it's still not seeing it. Oh, I've put top panel after. I put it in the wrong place actually. So I need this to actually go, because background needs to know about top panel, not the other way around. So there we go. Now I think we're good to go. We're going to try this again. And we should be fine now. The only thing is all of our, so if we go to background, or the top panel rather, all of our stuff actually isn't going to be positioned properly, but we can figure that out. Actually, I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to create some more variables here. I will just call this LX, LY, and LS. Or LW. Let's do LW and LH. This is what's awesome about juice live constant. LY LH. Now we will build, and this will actually take a second to build, but let's check in with the Discord, see if anybody is on Discord at the moment while we're doing all this. Do I want to become famous? Oh, interesting. Somebody asking about UI stuff. Must have been following my tutorials. Maybe they're trying to copy the app, trying to copy what I'm doing. I don't know. Interesting. Is this still? Oh wow, this is still building. Holy cow. Yeah, this is coming together nicely though. I feel pretty good about it. I'm wondering if there should be a white line along the bottom of the top panel, but we can address that in just a moment. Okay, so here we go. So we got our top panel there. I don't know if you can see my Scratch Champ logo, but it's actually super tiny. So let's see here. So first thing that we're going to do is set the Scratch Champ logo. So LX, it needs to be way up. Oh, sorry. I'm going to put this at 0.0. And then I will put the Y at 0.0. And then the width of this, let's make the width 0.2. Oh, this is interesting. This is not actually calculating out the way that I was anticipating. So let's see here, because I think I'm preserving. There we go. So now we're starting to make it a little bit. So let's make this 0.3, 0.4. Actually, I want to make it more like 0.8. There we go. Now we're starting to get there. And then maybe a little bit smaller. So 0.7. Let's make the Y. So let's see, L. So is this, so this is LY. I want to make this. The only thing is that LX, my X and Y are both at 0 at the moment, which is really strange. Can I make this a negative? Can I do this? Oh, cool. This is pretty cool. I didn't know I could actually make this negative. Negative 0.1. Try 2. 1.5. 1.8. I think if I make this, if I change this width to 0.2, 0.3, so here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. So 0. So now it's at 0. So I'm just trying to balance because it's trying to preserve the actual dimensions of the logo. So that's why this is happening. So this should be 1 maybe. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So this will be 0.02. 0.2. 0, 1. Can you imagine having to redo this every single time? I want to make it, I think I want to make it aligned to the left with hardware setup. So I'm going to make it 0, 0.005. Now we're talking. And make the Y 0.01 maybe, or 0.1. 0.1, so it's getting there now. 0.12, 1. Let's try 1.5. There we go. So that looks good now, right? That looks dang solid. So let's see what these X and Y positions are. So we got 0.005. LY is 0.15. Where is it? 0.15. Our width is 0.1 and our height is 0.7. And 0.7F. So that is Scratch Champ logo. And now let's do the settings. Where do we want the settings to be? Do we want it to be to the right? Next, do we want it to be maybe next to the logo? I don't really know. This is something that I've normally it would be to the right, wouldn't it? I think it would normally be on the right hand side. So you would have logout. You would have your user info, and then you would have settings that would be kind of next to it. So maybe we'll put it over here. So I'm going to put it at, let's get the size of it right. So let's make the S. Ooh, I almost edited the code. So I went. Oh, this is interesting when you actually. So let's see. I'm trying to scroll on the main. Oh man. So let's see. So reset all of this. My logo is going to be messed up, but don't worry. I've already put in all of the right coordinates. And so let's get the size right. So let's make this 0. So I think I want to make this like 0. I don't know. I have no idea actually. 0. Let's try 0.5. See if it comes out huge. No, that's actually quite nice, actually. Do I want it to be big or do I want it to be quite small? I think that, so let's make the Y position, let's put the Y position at 0.1, 0.3, 0.2. That's centered. 0.25. There we go. Now it's centered. And now the X position will be somewhere around 0.8. So let's put it at 0.75. Oh, maybe not that far to the right. So this will be, so if I put it at 0, that's not quite right, is it? So, oh, just got some very good news. Awesome. So I'm going to make this 0.3. Okay, so there's a problem. I have to adjust the X and the Y position here. I'm going to need to go back and just do this. Make an SW and an SH. SH. Let's try to build this again. Cheese Soup asks, have I ever tried paper prototypes? Do you mean just drawing it on paper? If you mean drawing it on paper, yes. I've also tried prototyping software like Adobe XD. I've tried Figma. See, the thing is that I think that if I was first doing this idea from scratch, I would probably want to set it up more in prototyping software before I actually did it. But because I'm kind of in the thick of it, and also because there's this Juice Live constant that allows me to dynamically actually place these things around, I think that it actually, the time that it would take me to actually prototype it out and figure out how to use XD properly and things like that, I would have already done it on in the actual software. So, or maybe not, I don't know. I just feel that it allows, yeah, I would say normally it's probably good to actually use like a prototyping software like Figma or XD or Photoshop to actually prototype these things out. But I think in this situation, maybe it's nicer to do it like this. So, okay, so let's see here. So we got 0.07, which is our height at our width at the moment. So let's do 0.2 and 0. Sorry, this is a bit funny. So let's make the width 4. Let's make the height 4. Because it's trying to preserve the proportions of this. So, and this is kind of a funny one because the width, let's see, because the height of it that is actually most of the space that I would want in this top panel, but the width is not, which is going to be, so let's make this 0.7. That's a little bit big, maybe 0.6. Oh, I just hit the 7 again. 0.6, 0.5. There we go. Yeah, if it's too big, it makes it look a little bit just huge, doesn't it? Let's see. So 5 was a good place for it. There we go. I'm gonna make the Y position 0.05. 0. So I think I had it 0.115. Let's try 0.2. 0.25. Is that centered? I think so. Yeah, so that looks fine. And then the X position would be 0.6. So I think 0.6 is a good place for that. Yeah. I'm almost wondering if I should go back and actually put the white rectangle around to actually test the bounds. I'm going to do that because I need to figure out where my hit area is going to be. So I'm going to do this experiment where I actually go to images, to settings button, and then do this g.fill all, or sorry, this needs to be void juice graphics. Sorry, I'm starting to lose it. Paint override. And then g dot draw rect. Draw rectangle. And this will be I'm going to do a g dot set color. Use colors white. And this will be get local bounds. This is just going to draw a white rectangle rather than I think it's draw rect. It's going to draw a white rectangle where my settings button is supposed to be, rather than the settings logo itself, just so I can make sure that the area that I have the logo in is actually within the top panel. Because you don't want because you have the size of the logo, but then you also have the size of the border around the logo, right? So you want to make sure that that the border around the logo, that you don't have this humongous area where you could actually click in any of the area and it's actually going to press your button, and then you're going to have areas that are overlapping each other. So yeah. So that's what we want to make sure about. And yeah, we're going to do that, and should be building in just a second. So while I'm building here. To it. Okay, cool. So here we go. So as we can see, way up here is where our logo currently is. So like I was saying before, So we can see that even though the settings icon is circular, that the boundaries for it are actually rectangular in nature. So we can see that the width of it is quite wide. So so what I want to do is I want to cut that down a bit. So let's make this, rather than 0.07, let's make it 0.03, 0.4. We'll make the X position of this 0.6, 0.8. I have this weird feeling that I'm going to have to actually re-edit this in Photoshop, actually get this right. So 0.7, 0.04. What do I want the height to be? The height is going to be 0.6. Okay, 0.7. I'm going to move this down a bit now. 0.05. Oh, now it's off the screen. That's not what I wanted. There we go. So 0.1 maybe. 0.15. So that's where I wanted to stick, right? Just like that. The problem is that this this icon isn't actually square. In the icon itself actually isn't, the image isn't actually square. So this may give us potential problems, but this is essentially the area where I want to have it. So let's put these settings in. Where are we? So going back down here to top panel. So what we got? We got 0.7. We got 0.15. We got width 0.04 and height 0.7. Height is 0.7. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my images. I'm going to take away this white border, and hopefully this will actually show up relatively in the right place. So this will be an interesting adventure. So oh, this is great news. Just got some really good news. Just okay, here I need this. Dialing it. Okay, cool. We will. I will come back to that. But all I gotta say is yes. Some awesome, awesome stuff. Cool. Got some new people joining the community. So cool. I really hope that this image button actually shows up at the right place. Or else I'm gonna have to tweak these settings. So let's have a look at set images. Set images. Resize button now to fit. Resize button now to fit this image. Rescale images when button sizes change. Preserve image proportions. We will come back. We will come back to that if it's not quite right. So, yeah, anytime that I'm actually in my working in the juice module that I've created, and I have to edit, it actually takes quite a while to build. Which is unfortunate, but there we go. That's the cost of development. We are getting there. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Are you having fun? I'm having fun. So here we go. We're getting there. Build succeeded. Let's see. Fingers crossed that our image is actually showing up in the right place. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There it is, centered, looking good. Yeah, looks nice. Looks really good. Yeah, cool. Awesome. I feel like it might be a little bit big. Let's go to the play screen and just see how it looks there. Is it too big? It's a bit big, isn't it? It's a little bit big. Sorry to do this, people, but I'm gonna have to make it just a little bit smaller. I just think it's a little bit too big. So I'm just gonna go back now to it very quickly. And I'm really hesitant to mess around with it because you know what? I'm just going to leave it. Oh, I think I'm going to leave it actually as it is. So that's fine. What I'm going to do, I wanted to show people how to do this because I think it'll be helpful for people. Is I actually wanted to do a looping icon as well. So we have we had a a situation where we had just a button that said loop on it. I thought that looked a little bit simple, right? So this morning I was having a look for a loop icon, a free one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go in here, just have a look for a free loop icon. That one looks quite good. So you got that one. You have this one. Or this one. Which one do y'all think would be the right one here? I actually like this one. I think I like that one. Let's just have a look at some more here. This one's quite cool. This one is nice. I actually like that one, I think. So what's the licensing on this? Oh, free download. Free is always good. Free. So here we go. So now what I'm going to do, so I have this icon. I'm just going to rename this loop icon. And there it is. Yeah. So it's black, but we're just going to do a color. We're going to do a color overlay on it. And here we are. So, so first thing so I thought this might be useful or helpful for people who are that are interested in importing their own icons and things like that to actually see how this is done. So in here, I have my projects. So so here's my DJ project here. And then in resources, I have this resources folder that has a whole bunch of SVGs, PNGs, and the like. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it in here. All right, so that's step one. Bring it into some folder. I've just called this folder resources. The next step is that you actually need to, there's this tool that's called Binary Builder. So it's in Juice. So if you go into Juice and then into Extras and then into Binary Builder, and this is a command line tool. So now I just need to go to my appropriate build. So if you were on Windows and you go to Visual Studio, I'm on Mac, of course, so I'm going to Mac OS X. And I'm just going in here to build, release into this binary builder, which is an executable. Now I pull up my command line. And the way that it works is, so it tells you actually, so if I just drag this in here and I hit enter, you can see that it says, let's see, does it say it? Oh yeah, here it is, usage, binary builder, source directory, target class name, and then you have this optional wildcard pattern, which I never use. So the way this actually works is you drag in the binary builder. So you just drag it into your command line window. Then your source directory. So this would be the directory where all of your resources are. So I will go to my resources folder. You just drag that in. And now I want to make, so I actually have a source file in here called resources.cpp and resources.h. And that's what I want to keep that as. So this is my destination folder. So I literally dragged the same folder in again. And what's the name of the folder? I will call it resources. Hit enter. And now it does all of this, which is actually converting it into a binary format that I can actually bring in to my project. So now that's it. So what I'll need to do is I will just need to reopen this from the producer just to refresh everything. And it should do this momentarily. And so it's just loading. Hey, Jas, good to see you again. So you were here last night as well. Wow, it's 10:15 in the morning already? Holy cow. So yeah, we're just doing that, waiting for that to come up. There we go. Um, so here we are. So now what we need to do is so what I want to do is I want to create a button from this resource. So so here we have this loop icon PNG, which is this, and I want to create a button out of it. So here we go. Oh, so are you in California, Jess? Are you in Cali? So he says it's two, he or she. I shouldn't assume that this person is male. Says that it's 2 in the morning where they are. Um, so so there we are. So now we have this icon. Now I want to make it into a button, and the question is, how do you do that? So I want this to be, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my images.h, and now I'll put it above my settings button actually, because I want this to be above above this. So this will be loop button. And once again, we are going to inherit from juice image button like this. So people always ask, well, how do you create your own, how do you get your own sliders and your own custom graphics into Juice? This is how you do it, basically. This is how you make a button out of a graphic asset, essentially. So I'm going to show you how right now. So we're going to make public and private sections. The Jas is in British Columbia, and Jas is a he. So thank you, and welcome back again. So now we need to create an image that we're going to store our loop PNG in. So we got loop image, and now I'm going to create a constructor. So this will be loop button, and then I would just do this, and then we will say loop image. Make sure you name them separately as well. So notice I have one called loop button and one that's called loop image. Otherwise, if you call it loop button, it won't. It would be confusing for the person that's reading it. And then you have all this business image cache get from memory. So this is just how you get it out of that resources folder. So now we just need to find out the name of the actual file again, which is this loop icon. So it's just called loop icon, and then that's the convention of how to do it. And then we will say loop image. Oh, I don't like when it does that. Then we got loop image is valid. And then once again, so that's just a check, just to make sure that your actual loop image, when you try to use it, that it's actually valid. And then once again, we are going to do set image. I'm actually going to keep everything the same for this, except I'm just going to change this to loop image. Loop image. So you can actually make it where if it's on, it's one image. If it's off, it's another image. So that's where you would actually do that. And then we will do a void paint. Just to actually, once again, just look at our hit area, make sure that it's in the right place. Choose graphics, G, override, and then I'll do G.setColor, choose colors, white, G.draw rect, and get local bounds. So that's just so we can draw the rectangle around the area before we actually try to place the image itself. So now we need to bring this into our top panel. And Jas asks a question, is importing images into binary superior to bitmap? The answer is I don't know. Yeah, I honestly have no idea. That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question that I actually do not know the answer to. But you could, I think a good place to ask would probably be in the Discord. Somebody will know that. So yeah, sorry that I don't actually know the answer to that question. So now, okay, I'm gonna create this loop button object, loop button. I'm putting this in my top panel. And now we're going to set bounds relative. I'm actually going to take these because I think that I'm going to want this to be a very similar size. So I'm going to take the defaults for these and I'm going to actually just paste these in here. .7, that. And then I'm just going to put these X, Y, SW, SH variables in here. Need to add it and make it visible. Add and make visible loop button. And I think we are good to build there. I'm going to try something very quickly before we actually do that. So going back to the top panel, I wanted to see what it looked like to have a white border along the bottom. So I'm going to do G.setColor, choose colors, white, G.draw line. So let's go back into our API here. So there is graphics. Go click on here. Draw line. Here we go. So we want float start X, start Y, end X, end Y, line thickness. So start would be 0, end would be get height, and then end would be get width, get height, and then line thickness. What's my line thickness of these other things? So let's have a look here. So let's have a look in setup, hardware setup, and we have our line as 3.0. So let's just try that. All right, so let's try building this. Let's see where we're at. So just going to try to help. Oh, build failed. So let's see here. Oh, I forgot to put these parentheses in here. Just looking at a round text editor. Create a new look and feel. So we tried overriding. Okay, nearly done building. We are getting there. I'm excited about the direction this app is going. I think it's coming along. Okay. So once this actually pops up, this is just going to be a square. Actually, it's not going to be the icon itself just yet. It's nearly there. The anticipation. Build succeeded. So there we go. I should have probably done this just in my app so it would have built quicker, but here we are. Too late for that now. Okay, so currently we see the square around the settings image. That's because it's in the same place as the settings image. So I want to move this a bit to the left. So let's move this to 0. I'm going to try 6.5. And thing is that it's wider than it is tall. So I'm just going to account for that a little bit. Make this maybe 6.3. And then make the width of this a little bit wider. So maybe make this 0.05. Something like that. So 0.63. So 0.63. So I'm just going to go back and put all of these in. Make sure if you ever do this, make sure that you actually put the coordinates in before you actually close it down, or else you'll actually lose the you'll actually lose those numbers. So that looks pretty good actually. But then what did I have for the width? 0.05. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to images. I'm going to get rid of this void paint and now try to actually draw the icon. So this is a bit of a long-winded way to do this, but yeah, it actually works quite well for me. So the engine asks, why not build UI standalone? Well, this is a standalone app actually. It's not actually a plugin. So yeah. So is that what you meant? Because normally when you're working on a plugin, when you build it in standalone mode, it actually lets you iterate through the graphics a lot quicker than if you have to open it up in a DAW and wait for the DAW to open up. Then you have to load your plugin, have to do all this stuff. But this is actually not a plugin. This is actually a standalone application. So a little bit of a different situation. How long have we been on? 2 hours. We're actually getting quite a bit done in 2 hours. So it's building, building, building. Just wait for this to do its thing, looking through the Discord while people are helping each other out. Got some amazing developers in here. Let's see what's happening in the elementary audio Discord. Got some new people joining. Great. We're getting there. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday so far. I should actually probably try to get out today, spend some time with the dog. I took her out for a walk in the woods this morning, so she does get a lot of attention. Okay, so we'll do this, and then I think once we get done with this, then I think I will end this live stream. Nice. What do you think of that? I think that looks good. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. Pretty happy with that, actually. Yeah, looks pretty good. The spacing is nice as well. Of course, I don't have any. I don't have the logic of it hooked up at all or anything like that. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'm wondering, should it be a bit? Should the settings button be a little bit smaller? No, it's cool. It's cool. It's fine. Yeah, pretty satisfied with that. Then we have the border along the bottom. Not so crazy about that. Don't think that we need that. I was wondering if maybe it might be cool to take away the border on this hardware setup. Take away the border on the, maybe leave the border on the bottom of Scratch Champion, but take away the border of hardware setup. My mouse is acting a little bit weird at the moment. Let's just see. Let's go through the different game states here and see what it looks like. Make sure that it actually looks cool. And I need to do some stuff as well. Like this is these need to change colors because you shouldn't actually be able to click on loop before the lesson is actually loaded. Things like that. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm going to just go back for a second, and I'm actually going to go to the hardware setup as a last thing. I'm actually going to comment out the rectangle that I draw around it. Same thing with the lesson. So in my lesson view, loading, and then my loading view, I'm going to just get rid of this draw rect. I've never been a fan of it, but I always felt like I needed something there just to make it not look completely plain. So I'm curious to see what this actually looks like, and then we will call it a wrap. And I think I will get some breakfast. So wait for this to build. Just take a second. I'm watching. I see that somebody's actually doing some live game development. Holy moly! This looks amazing. Game development is a whole different level, isn't it? It looks really cool. I wish that I could get to know game engines like Unity and Unreal. Get to know those a little bit better. It'd be nice if we could play music while we were actually doing this. It would just break up the actual monotony of waiting for these builds to actually happen. So we are working on this. Should build any second. I have no idea what this is. I'm afraid to click on it. Might have to ban one of our own admins in the audio programmer Discord. We are nearly there, and then we will call it a day for now. But I was also thinking play and stop buttons would also be really cool to have as well. I'm not a big fan of having huge icons. It makes the UI look a little bit I don't know, simple. But let's see. Okay, so that's what it looks like when you don't have so when you have the line at the very bottom of the top, but yeah, maybe I'll take out that line as well, actually. Am I using? No, I'm not. I'm not using FFT for the display. Are you talking about the one at the top that? Are you talking about in? I'm trying to get to the screen actually. One moment. So somebody asked if we were using FFT for the display visualization. Are you talking about this part here? This part is actually just drawing the wave itself. So it's actually just going through the whole buffer and actually just drawing the X and Y positions. But there's a little bit of a trick to it as well, where you actually have to where the color of it is actually based on the amplitude of the signal. So it's just how big the line is drawing, rather than doing an FFT or any sort of analysis or anything like that. Cool. So I'm going to take away that line at the bottom of the top panel component and see what that looks like. So I'm just using absolute values. Yeah, not RM. So Jas asked if I was using RMS or absolute values for drawing that waveform. No, just absolute values. Yeah. So building one more time here, and then it's breakfast time, or maybe for Jas it might be bedtime, depending if you were how late you're planning on staying up. Maybe you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been listening to some inspirational, some like motivational speakers, and like people like former Navy SEALs who actually get up at like 4:30 in the morning. 4:30 is a little bit 4:30 is a little bit too early for me. I could do 6. I could do 5:30, 6 o'clock. 4:30 is pretty pretty early, unless you go to bed at like 8 o'clock at night. So if you go to bed at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll give you your 8 hours of sleep if you go to bed at 8 o'clock, wake up at 4 o'clock. I mean, that's pretty cool. I actually like waking up early in the morning because it you get your best work in the first thing in the day, and I feel like I'm getting up early before everybody else. So once 8:30, when I'm actually working, once 8:30, 9 o'clock actually hits, it's like emails, messages, just an onslaught of communication all through the day. Emails, messages, and meetings all throughout the day. But I always feel like if I could just get up before everybody else, then I can get a whole bunch of stuff done before anybody else actually wakes up, which is actually it feels quite nice actually. Yeah, I try to do at least I try to do a couple hours of coding on the app a day. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah. So here we go. So now we're back in. Oh, that actually looks quite clean, doesn't it? Having it where you have this border. I feel like yeah, what do you think of that? That looks pretty clean, doesn't it? Because it looks like now there's a line outside of it, which looks pretty cool. The only question is, like, I feel like the contrast between this light and medium, maybe it could be a little bit more, but that's just me being picky. Also, these buttons, I need to actually do again. But that actually looks, I'm actually quite satisfied with that. And then when you get to the play screen, now you have this, but that looks clean. That looks clean as heck. Yeah, I'm pretty darn happy with that. I am happy with that. This press space bar to start, that is terrible. I need to get rid of that and do something else. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna handle that, but yeah, I need to fix that. But the loop and the settings button look pretty good now. Yeah, I still feel like the settings button might be a little bit big, but I'm not too fussed. Not too fussed about it. Maybe I'll just bring it down like 0.05. So Jazz says, if I want some free FFT library, I should look at the ones published by Laurent D. Source. Really? Yeah. I think free FFT libraries are actually quite difficult to come by. I'd love to check those out. Thank you for the suggestion on that. That's very kind of you. Wow, I'm starting to feel pretty good about this. I'm gonna take a picture of this actually. Let's see here. None of my DJ friends actually know that I've been working on this, but yeah, it's coming along. I'm gonna take a picture of that. Put that on my Instagram. Yeah, cool, nice stuff. Before I go, I'm actually just going to so I'm going to replace these like this. And then I'm going to actually take the settings logo and I'm going to just take it down by 0.05. So let me just take this, put this at 0.3, 0.65, which means that now the height is going to need to come down by 0.05. So there we go. But I won't put you through the pain of living through one of these really long builds again. Cool. I think I'm going to leave things there for now. So I'm just going to save these changes, unlike what I did last night. And yeah, good session this morning. Adding icons to top panel. Git push origin producer. There we go. So Nishant says, this is the best channel. This is probably the best channel I've discovered recently. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad to hear that this is really helpful for you. Yes, it's always good. You know, there's definitely some insecurity about sharing an actual project that I'm actually working on and I plan on releasing, and there's part of me that feels like, oh, will somebody steal this idea, things like that. But at the same time, I think that there's a lot of value to showing people how to build real, how I go about anyway, building a real app. So I do a lot of tutorials on building simple stuff, building hack projects. But I think when it comes to actually doing something that you actually plan on releasing properly, that it takes a little, it of course takes a little bit more work and takes a little bit more thought and things like this. And I'm all about helping people. And I have this app that I've been working on for a long time now, and I really need to finish it. And it's so close to the finish line. And I just thought, you know what? I am just going to do live streams on this and just keep doing this until I hit the finish line. So, Jazz says app looks amazing. Do you have YouTube donation? Oh, donation button. I do not. Oh yeah, I do. If you go to, I need to actually set this up. I'm terrible at this. If you go to my page / the audio programmer, and then it's actually way over here in PayPal donations. I actually need to set this up properly so people can actually donate and contribute if they want to. But yeah, that's where it's at. Just on youtube.com / the audio programmer, and then just over here on the right, donations. But thank you very much. It means a lot. Yeah, I need to. Yes. So Nishant says I can't see a join button near subscribe. I need to figure out how to do that. That's something that maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that today, and I will try to work that out so people can join up and do this. But yeah, I need to work that stuff out, work out my Patreon packages and things like that. And I will I'll have a look at that today, a little bit later on today. But for now, I'm actually kind of hungry. So I'm going to let everybody go. And I appreciate everybody who has been joining in for the live stream on this Sunday. It's Sunday morning for me. And this is where I'm going to end it. So everybody have a nice day. Join the community if you're around. You can join via the link down there at the bottom, theaudioprogrammer.com / community. I hope to see you in there. Let's keep building. Let's keep making awesome music apps, and I'll see you next time.